The fight starts. Right away, the first thing we notice is O'Malley's very quick feet. His ability to move around is second to none, and he often uses that ability to draw reactions from his opponents. Indeed, when O'Malley feints an attack, like this, it gives him a ton of information. For example here, as soon as O'Malley moves inside and feints an offensive maneuver, Paiva tries to counter with the right hand. We'll call that a counter reaction, and you can bet your ass O'Malley identifies it. A few seconds later, Suga shows a different feint. He moves like he's gonna throw a front kick before holding it, and Paiva doesn't really react all that much. This is what we'll call an underreaction to O'Malley's feint. So now that Sean has seen that, he can confidently throw a real front kick, knowing that Paiva's reaction won't be quick enough to escape it. It lands pretty hard, but Raulian shows he's prepared for kicks. He knows how to counter them. This will force O'Malley to adopt a slightly more boxing-oriented approach with less flashy attacks. As we have already seen, Sean O'Malley's feints can trigger counter-reactions and under-reactions, but they can also trigger over-reactions. Like this one. An overreaction is when you noticeably react to a feint, you flinch or you move back, thinking that the feint is gonna be a real threat. Of course, by reacting in that manner, you might evade O'Malley's potential attack, but you also might play right into his game, because that's exactly how Sean keeps you at bay. Without those overreactions, it's harder for O'Malley to keep an ideal distance. He cannot play with you the way he wants to. Now if you counter-react to one of his feints, like here, chances are he's gonna make you look silly. And if you decide to underreact, well guess what? When O'Malley actually goes for an attack then, you won't be able to move out of the way in time, and you will get hit. There's no easy solution. Now, that doesn't mean Sean O'Malley's invincible. If you catch and counter his kicks, you can put him in an extremely vulnerable spot. Here, O'Malley has to be very quick to push off with his arms and pull out, and even then, it's a matter of inches. Also, by being unpredictable with your head movement and your footwork, it becomes harder for Sean to read you. But he's not a master of striking for nothing. Here's a great example. Sean's feint triggers an overreaction. Paiva's arms come forward. He anticipates an attack. And it doesn't come. So when O'Malley immediately moves in again, Paiva obviously thinks it's another feint. He underreacts, and the jab from O'Malley lands. In other words, he's been conditioned to react too slow. He's been conditioned to underreact, because when you overreact, you feel stupid. When you counterreact and miss, you look stupid, and you start to expect feints. O'Malley's such a frustrating fighter to face. When you think he's moving into range, he's only feinting. When you think he's only feinting, he's moving into range. It makes everyone, including Paiva, feel uneased, in a perpetual cycle of surprise and uncertainty. Here, O'Malley feints and observes that his opponent is underreacting. Knowing that, he can almost be certain to land his attack because Paiva is expecting a feint. And wouldn't you know it, O'Malley lands his jab. Then, he circles in a way that squares Paiva's stance and unleashes a quick 1-2 upon him. The Suga knows how to exploit reactions. That's his specialty. Look here, O'Malley throws an extremely elaborate feint, feinting the right kick first and the jab second. For a while, it looks like Paiva is underreacting. He's barely moving, while O'Malley is definitely in range to hit him. As you can see, Sean has used Paiva's underreaction by covering significant distance, and he's also able to circle into an advantageous position, squaring up his opponent once again. From those advantageous positions, he can keep perfect distance with his short, quick steps and his wide, balanced footwork. He's ready to retreat at all times. He's able to make people miss when they're countering his feints too, and because of that, they get antsy. They want to strike any chance they get, but O'Malley's a distance expert, and your antsiness only makes your timing easier to read for him, especially if you always throw the same combo. This is exactly what happens here. Paiva is tired of reacting to what O'Malley does, so he decides to go first, one more time with his usual jab-right combo. O'Malley feels his timing beautifully because of his range awareness. He slips the jab and comes over the top with the overhand. Stunning shot. 8 seconds later, O'Malley has fully read the situation. He approaches Paiva, knowing that his presence near him will inevitably trigger offense from his opponent. He also knows what type of offense will be coming at him, and he chooses the proper weapon to intercept his rival. Once again, the overhand sneaks in over the jab. This time, it really hurts him, and it's the beginning of the end. Sean O'Malley's finishing ability deserves recognition. He's able to not overcommit using his twitchy wide footwork. He's able to stay in range while being aware of his opponent's punching threat and still be in a position where he can retreat at all times if needed. And finally, when he needs to create an opening, he varies his target selection. It all works like a charm, and this fight's over. I've been saying it for years, Sean O'Malley is special, and he's got a style to remember. He's a master at controlling and containing his opponents. He uses their reactions by creating them and then exploiting them. And you have to say, he does it all in a beautiful way. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Please press like if you feel like it. Subscribe too, why not? Alright guys. See ya.